Star Wars Battlefront 2. Pre-order the Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition for $20 more to play the game 3 days early. We interrupt this program to bring you a sponsored message by the community.
Boy, if you don't get
First off, I want to let you guys know that I had to do my review of this game for the culture. I had to clear up all the misconceptions, all the bullshit regarding this game, all the kind of controversy regarding this. I had to clear it up. Being a heavy Star Wars fan and being a fan of the past Battlefronts, it was my duty to step forward and assess this situation and do what I do best, which is analyze games, anime, manga, whatever. In this case, we analyzing that Star Wars Battlefront 2, which people are going in on. They're going in on the game because of all the controversy surrounding this. So I had to give my 2 cents. And before I go into the review of this game, I want to address EA's bullshit, because to put it quite simple, y'all were on some nut shit, man. Like, these dudes came out here like they could do whatever they wanted to, and a lot of the times they do with different games, but not this game. Not this game, my G. Nah. We actually spoke up on the stuff that y'all were trying to play us on. Like, first of all, they had the game set up to where it was pay to win. You could purchase all these loot crates that gave you advantages when you were playing online over someone who just used the normal progression. Like, you got star cards, you got credits, you got crafting material, you got all this stuff that will put you ahead of somebody who didn't spend any money in microtransactions. So that just messed up the ordinance within the online gameplay, because you got dudes who spent $120 because they want to be beefed up, and they over here just washing everybody who just got the game, and it's just, they already paid for the full game, so they're just like, yo, let me play. But they can't compete against people who are using stuff that they unlocked from paying that actually helps them do better in the match. So that was crazy. Y'all was really like, I don't like, yo, come on, man. Next, they had it to where you had to pay an excessive amount of in-game credits to unlock the normal heroes, the main characters within like the Star Wars franchise, like Luke, Darth Vader. Like, they had these dudes locked behind a 60,000 credit payment. So you had to basically grind out all these hours in the game just to play as these characters that you should be able to play as off the jump. And to me, that's some bullshit. And you want to know their excuse for making these characters cost so much credits? They want to say that they wanted players to have a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. Boy, I just paid $60+ for the game, and you telling me I can't use Luke and Vader, and I can't use all these other dudes that I want to use after I just paid? I'm like, yo, you gotta go. I don't know where you thought that was gonna fly, but you acting like this is a free-to-play game and I just jumped on and I had to unlock. No, I paid for this game, bro. Give me Luke, give me Vader, bro. Like, they was really tripping, and they really wanted to say they wanted people to have a sense of pride and accomplishment. Pride and accomplishment, my ass, man. But you know what? The community spoke up like we always do when stuff like this happens, and they basically took out all the microtransactions within the game temporarily, and they said they were going to rework it. So when they said they were going to bring it back, if they need to bring it back to where it's only aesthetic, like you can only get stuff that is going to aesthetically change your character and not actually like in-game boost your character up, because that is the only way it's going to be fair. So if they rework that and make it to where it's only like just aesthetic stuff, I'm cool with it. And they actually lowered the cost of the hero characters such as Luke and Vader to reasonable cost. They are now like 15,000 a piece for you to unlock, and it's pretty plausible from just playing the game. So I really like all the stuff that they were really just going crazy about. They fixed it, so that allowed me to purchase the game without feeling like I was being finessed. So with all that being said, let's jump into my actual thoughts on Star Wars Battlefront 2. To start off, I was highly anticipating this game. Couldn't wait for the game. Played the beta, enjoyed it. Played all the other previous Battlefronts, like when they were on PS2 and stuff like that. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the classic one, was one of my favorite games of all time. Still is. And I just want you to know that I'm a huge Star Wars fan before going into this. So starting off visually, because that's the first thing you're going to see when you start up this game. You're going to open the game and you're going to be like, it feels like you're watching one of the movies. Like, before EA had all this bull crap released about what they were doing on the game, they had me looking at it like I was looking at the trailers. Like, they very much paid attention to detail, to even down to like the little things, which I appreciate. Considering that we have my boys over from DICE working on this game with the Frostbite engine, you know that junk was gonna look crispy just from knowing DICE. It was in DICE's hands. I mean, even the first game, like a lot of people said, was like a museum. The gameplay was trash, but it looked beautiful. But now we actually got the best of both worlds. It looks great on the Frostbite engine, and it plays great because they listened to what people said and they implemented it. So they made everything seem more alive in this game, like how your characters actually get dirty and roughed up as you play as them. Like, I remember I was walking around as Luke, and then like, since he has like all black, I had like mud on my boots and stuff like that. So it was definitely cool seeing like the characters be dynamic and not actually just feel like nothing affects them. So that was dope personally. The lighting in this game, crazy. You already know you're using engines from the people over at DICE, so the lighting, just like within like games like Battlefield, which DICE also develops, the lighting was A1. It looked, lighting is, people don't realize how much lighting matters, but lighting makes stuff look very much different than one that has bad lighting. So I want to emphasize that. Next, going into the kind of different soundtracks. I know I said visuals, but now I'm kind of going into the sounds. The different soundtracks within the game and the sound effects within the game are phenomenal, man, and they just add to the whole atmosphere while you're playing. Like, when you're playing, you just feel like you're engulfed within like a Star Wars, like you feel like you're a character within a Star Wars movie. Like, it's just so fun to see stuff play out and stuff like that, and use your favorite characters. Some interesting examples of like great sound work are when Darth Vader is damaged, you can actually hear his like breathing machine start to struggle, like when Vader got shocked by the Emperor at the end of Return of the Jedi, how it was like yeah, so it kind of does that. So that was dope. I'm like, dang, they even, I was like, yo, that's when I was like, yo, they paid attention. But also, in terms of the lightsaber sound effects, they did great. For me, hearing them get Kylo Ren's lightsaber ignition sound right and his movement sound effects correct was satisfying, considering his saber is like kind of unique compared to most of the other sabers in the Star Wars universe, because it's kind of like raw and unstable. So like when you light it up, it actually sounds like how it does from the movies, and it's pretty cool just to see that and actually be able to use the character. So going back to the visual side, there was a numerous amount of times where I was just awed and astounded by the beauty of the maps I was playing on and how they made me feel a part of the universe. And specifically, I clearly remember the first time I played on Camino and Death Star 2. I was blown back, and I was just looking around at everything and just kind of like geeking out inside, because I'm like, yo, this junk looks so real. Like, it just felt so crazy that I was walking around within that space and like fighting battles within that space, and it just felt so real, man. And the game is like in 60 FPS and it's just so buttery, and I was just like, yo. But yeah, I also remember forgetting that this map was in the game, the Naboo Plasma Refinery Complex map. You know, the map from episode 1 where it had like all the light tubes where Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon Jinn fought. It has all those little like light beams. I forgot that map was in the game because certain maps are kind of exclusive to the Heroes versus Villains game mode. And when I stepped foot in that room, when I was just playing some matches Heroes versus Villains, I stepped in that room and I was like, no, this junk looks so amazing. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is, yo, I was just blown back. It's so cool being able to play in that map and like fight all the other and do like hero versus villain battles like on those little platforms and like knock people off and stuff. It was crazy, man. But it's just an amazing feeling like when you watch the films and you get to play it on the game. So yeah, going back to the gameplay, they did an amazing job. When I played the beta, I knew that they had gotten the core gameplay correct in terms of like the soldier gameplay and like the heroes gameplay and just like overall gameplay, you know what I'm talking about. So it's very fun and you can play it for a long time like without feeling like kind of bored. So it's improved vastly compared to the first game, because on the first game it was really like weird. Like they didn't have any, like they had like little tokens where you pick up and all. It was just so, that was a mess. I didn't even pick up that game until it was like $20 like last year during holiday times, but I didn't pay full price for that because I was like, but now they actually have different soldier classes similar to the first battle, the classic Battlefronts, and each of the classes have 3 unique abilities that can be customized and changed with different star cards, which are essentially ability cards that you can earn and craft. So in a match you earn battle points that you can exchange for different special classes. Like you can earn you can use your battle points that you earn during a match to spawn as a rocket trooper, and further along you can use your battle points to get access to like a hero slash villain. So they did a great job making the heroes and villains play like how they are in the movies and the lore, and it's very entertaining to play as these characters you love and use their abilities in combat, because you know them from reading about them in the little lore comics and the movies. So it's definitely dope to be able to see how much they stuck to the source in terms of creating these characters and how they move around and how their abilities work. So it's definitely dope. There are way more maps across all the Star Wars eras, but sadly you cannot vote for which map you want to play on next. It's like random, all random in terms of that. So you can't just say can't vote for the next map. It's just a random playlist, so you just cycle through them. It's not too bad, but I feel like they should add in that towards a date that's very soon, because that's just crazy, man. Like I want to be able to vote for which map I want to play, because some of the maps are trash. Like I know for me personally, Kashyyyk, that map is garbage for me. And the classic Battlefront, that map was dope, but this one, that shit garbage. And continuing on to the game modes within Star Wars Battlefront 2, there is a campaign mode which is dope, as you follow it's a canon story fighting for the Empire as Commander Eden Versio of the Special Operations Team Inferno Squad. So you're playing as Versio and you're basically following a story from the perspective of an Empire agent. So I enjoyed it more than I thought it would, and the storytelling is very cool, and it ties together what happened right after the events of Return of the Jedi and leading into The Force Awakens. I want to say they did a good overall job with the character. I want to say that when you have a good character, it carries the story a lot, considering that people can just feel more emotion throughout the story. So I feel like having a good character like Iden was very influential to the story mode being a good story mode. Next, you have the multiplayer in this game, which has 5 modes. It has Galactic Assault, Starfighter Assault, Heroes vs Villains, Strike, and Blast. So in Heroes vs Villains, shout out to the person behind the robot commentators. Like that dude is so funny. Like that man had me weak. Like that's one of my favorite game modes, and like there's this robot that commentates throughout the match on stuff that's happening. And there was this one time where I was Darth Vader and I ended up murking Han Solo, and then the robot was like, Han Solo, it was like, Han Solo should have stayed in the Falcon. And I was like, damn, I'm weak as hell. But I have to say my favorite game modes are Heroes vs Villains, Blast, which is kind of close quarter combat, and Galactic Assault, which is the kind of staple game mode within the game. I will say that it feels like the Galactic Assault matches feel like they go by so fast that you don't even have time to earn enough battle points for the heroes, or you end up unlocking the heroes that you want to use like right as the match is ending. Like you'll unlock the hero and then you'll go out, run for 5 seconds, and the match will be over. So I definitely feel like they need to either lower the cost on the heroes or increase the amount of points you get, or something along the lines of that. Make the match longer or something. But also I advise unlocking heroes with your credits first before purchasing anything else. Unlock all the heroes you specifically want. I'd advise getting Luke Skywalker first, because the heroes lineup is kind of trash except for Luke. So I would advise getting Luke Skywalker unlocked immediately, and then right after that get Darth Vader. I got the game the Friday it came out, and it only took me till Sunday to basically unlock Luke and Vader, which were 15,000 a piece, which was like 30k. And then the next character I unlocked was the Emperor. So I got those kind of 3 unique characters down because those were really the ones I wanted. So it doesn't take that long, considering you get credits for playing online matches, completing challenges, opening daily crates, and playing arcade mode. And speaking of arcade mode, that is the last mode they have, and it has been really fun for me since you can play scenarios based on the movies or custom arcade matches where you can set up all the specifics you want. Like if you want to fight an onslaught of clone troopers with Kylo Ren, just slaughtering them, like you can do that, and you can just set up a whole bunch of stuff. But they need more heroes and villains in the game. Like, where is my dude Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace Windu, Count Dooku, General Grievous? Like, where are all these dudes at, my god? Like, I don't know if they were pressed for time or something, but I definitely expect to be seeing them within DLC, because the heroes villain roster is very short, or at least the Jedi and Sith for the roster very short, considering this is a sequel to this is the second iteration of the Star Wars reboot for Battlefront, so they should be coming like hard. But I don't know, it might be just be part of how they're releasing content in waves to kind of make more money or something, I don't know. But in conclusion, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a really dope game, and it's worth the full price if you're a Star Wars fan. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I paid full price for the game. I don't regret it. I've been playing, this is the game I'm playing right now. Like, I'm playing this more than Call of Duty, stuff like that. So considering that Star Wars Battlefront 2, the classic one, was one of my favorite games of all time, it still is, I had to cop this game. And I just like this style of play when it comes to Star Wars games, because Battlefront games kind of immerse you a lot compared to the other different Star Wars games. I'm looking forward to the DLC, the free DLC that they're releasing starting next month, which will be themed DLC. So they're saying they're kind of going for a themed approach with the DLC they're going to be rolling out. So the DLC coming out in December is The Last Jedi themed, with Finn and Captain Phasma as playable characters, and then they have like special in-game events that you can do for this theme. So all the people talking shit about the game and they have not played the game, please stop talking, because you don't know what you're talking about. Like, if you play the game, you can say what you want, but if you haven't played the full game, please don't start talking reckless about this. The game is really fun and I'm enjoying it, and I was skeptical, but that basically got erased once I played the game. You actually need to play a good amount of the game too to test out all the stuff they have and figure out what's your favorite stuff and kind of get a feel of the game before it feels comfortable. When you first play the game, it might feel kind of weird and clunky because you're not really used to it, but then once you get used to it and learn how to play, you will start enjoying this game really a lot. The stuff that was ruining the game, which people were complaining about, they took out, so I don't understand why people are still complaining. I understand that it's really the concept that bothered people, how they did this and thought they could get away with it, but come on, man. Like, I've been anticipating this game for a long time. I couldn't just not get it. Like, I'm still gonna get the game, and I'm glad they took all that crazy stuff out. But right now, the in-game purchases are turned off until further notice, and they're bringing it back, but hopefully they make it to where the microtransactions are aesthetic purchases only, where they only affect the aesthetics of your character and not the gameplay. Hopefully they rework that, because I know even Disney contacted them and was like, yo, y'all wildin', y'all need to, like, y'all hurting the brand and stuff like that. So they had to get right, but they also reworked the cost of the different hero characters. So I'm not tripping, man. I mean, that's my verdict on the game. Let me know what you guys think, if you have the game, or what you think about my thoughts on the game. After this video, like, where are you? Where do you stand with this game? Would you consider purchasing it if you're a Star Wars fan? How do you feel, people? It's your boy AnimeAnalyst. Also, if you want to purchase Also, if you want to purchase any of my gear, I'm pretty sure I'm running a Black Friday, a kind of holiday, Thanksgiving time relaunch of my gear, so possibly might be in this video, possibly might not be, but yeah, appreciate you guys watching. It's your boy AnimeAnalyst. I'm out of here. May the force be with you.